how do you pick the people for the different topics?
So we talk about it. I got a staff, and we all sort of 6 months out think, who do we want? And everybody starts to surface the people who they cover and their special skills. And so Ashley Vance, who has known Mark Hurd for years and years, said, Mark Hurd is a ninja when it comes to financial statements. And so he said, he basically devised a sort of, a taste test. He said, let's give him a blank, anonymous financial statement, and let's see how long it takes him to figure out what it is.
It was brilliant. You took Smith & Wesson, the gun maker. He didn't know it was Smith & Wesson.
No,
and he nailed it.
But within about 30 seconds.
Yes.
He had figured out exactly what it was. He had figured out the performance, and he was drilling down further and further. I mean, it's just incredibly impressive.
I also like the Dick Costello of Twitter, the CEO, how to run a company like an improv group. Talks about his time in Chicago. It's just a great window into these people's personality and where they came from.
Yeah, and that's sort of, look, there's so many people in business who are known for one singular thing, but in fact, everybody takes some sort of scenic route to get to the place they are, and Dick Costello used to be in the improv scene in Chicago. And so when he got out, he was working with Chris Farley and Rachel Dratch and all these people. And it applies. I mean, the fact is, knowing how to deal with somebody who's instinctive and physical like Chris Farley, and then someone who is very sort of intellectualized like Rachel Dratch, he's like, that's how I put my teams together. So that actually is a management lesson in a weird
Interesting.
way.
Charles Calamiris here, our guest host this hour with Columbia Business School. Team Triangle goes after one Krugman of Princeton. How to beat a dead horse, stimulus, 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 stimulus.
He really believes it. Yeah, no, he believes it. I read the article. I thought it was a very good article. It's kind of like, what's that, stream of consciousness kind of talk. But, I think Paul's a very effective writer, and on basic economics, he's often on target. Unfortunately, he's a very selective writer in what he decides to beat a dead horse about, and often more politically motivated.
But that's what's so great about this issue, Josh, and that is he's willing to go out there and sort of make fun of himself and acknowledge the fact that he does this.
Yeah, I mean, I think columnists in particular, they get a rap because you see this sort of 700-word distillation of their ideas every week. And I think his point in the piece is, I know how to find the opportunities to make my point. But when you sort of remove him from that context, you can also kind of talk about the fact that, yeah, you kind of have to really caricaturize yourself in some degrees to get your point across.
Which is why he's so successful.
Hugely successful. He understands commerce. He understands what people need to know. And, like Friedman, those guys are geniuses at just conceptualizing difficult things and giving you that one seed so that your takeaway is, got the idea.
Well, I love that it's Paul Krugman, and then it's kind of diversified. There's also people on here that Tom does not know at all. Don Ed Hardy, how to get rich with tattoos.
First of all, it is not possible that there are people here that Tom does not know.
Oh, it's possible.
And Tom has tattoos underneath that.
Yeah.
Underneath.
We all know what's going on.
And
right
for sure
economics, finance, and investment, it's a great mix right here.
Yeah, with a nice little rose. For sure he's not wearing Ed Hardy t-shirt.
No, I doubt that he is. But that's, again, we want to, business is everywhere. And that's sort of what we try and do. We got a lot of words every week in this magazine. And so we try to find the places that you wouldn't expect and find minds that you wouldn't expect applying themselves to business and finance. And so I think we're successful at that. And then on the flip side, you take a guy like Dick Parsons, who we all know is a very brilliant CEO, really knows how to manage relationships. And he also has a vineyard and has for years. And so this is a guy who knows how to spend it. And so we got him to tell us, how do you actually go about the process of surveying the land, running a vineyard, finding the family? And
did Dick Parsons know?
Oh, yeah.
He's all over the land.
Very
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
I just randomly opened the magazine and got to one page that said how to look like you know what you're talking about and how to modify your sleep schedule, which applies directly to us every single day.
Right. So we went to Tom first for how to look like you know what you're talking about.
Oh,
but he, of course... And then quality control.
There's an entire section, for those of you on Bloomberg Radio Worldwide, must read an entire section on bow ties.
But Josh, which one is your favorite how-to?
I think Hurd's is my favorite, just because the guy is such a machine.
The income statement.
Yeah, and you get a sense of skill so instantly.
Right.
And it's a rare skill. So, and also I love the fact...
And he was happy to do it.
Oh, he's thrilled to do it. I mean, most people here do not need a lot of arm twisting. And because when you go to somebody and say, listen, we know that you're brilliant at this one thing that nobody else really understands. It's not exactly a tough sell.
Right. Josh, in the time that we've got left, and how to, you have had huge success, award-winning success with Bloomberg Businessweek. How do we save the magazine industry? I get magazines at home, and yet I hear newsstand sales really are challenging, to say the least. For everyone listening and watching, are you in an industry that's a dinosaur?
It's an industry that could be a dinosaur in the sense that if you keep executing the same thing and expecting the revenue and the eyeballs to come back, you're in trouble. But what we've been trying to do is diversify and get to people where they are. And you know, there is great goodwill to a lot of magazine brands. But there are a lot of people who are just as comfortable looking at something in their hand, like this, instantly, as they are waiting for something to come to their house. And so what we're trying to do is take what we do in the magazine and deliver it wherever the eyeballs are. And we'll figure it out from there.